Grand Raw Rising, kings and queens. Grab your coffee or your tea and enjoy some sacred healing space for all ages and reflections that are welcomed. No matter if you're at work, watching the kiddos at home, or even driving on the road, Rising with Raw is a beautiful sacred space to learn about the chakras as well as receive our collective card reading for the day. Along with this, we will have beautiful guests and members of the tribe come on to share their gifts, their practices, knowledge, and wisdom as we self-empower and become aware of who we are as we go forth by day.
Walking like an Egyptian, walking like an Egyptian, walking like an Egyptian, walking like an Egyptian. Yeah, she walking like an Egyptian.
Grand Rising, Nature Wolf. Thank you for the love. Get yourself cozy. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you to all of you that are tapping in, whether it's live or in this present moment, that you tap in time and space. How are we all feeling today? Let's begin our space with a daily check-in with ourselves. How are we feeling? How are we feeling mentally? How are we feeling emotionally? How are we feeling physically and spiritually? Take a moment, tap in, get still with yourself, and reflect upon these aspects. Do a little inventory as we begin. Feel free to share this with any and all that you feel resonant, that could benefit from this start to their day, or to add this to their daily routine or daily activities, depending on where we are in the world. On our last episode of Rising with Ra, this is what our journey looked like.
Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian. Walking like an Egyptian.
Last thing I'm going to say as well for our reading with manifestation is remember that you are not separate from anything. You are not separate from abundance. You are not separate from fortune and prosperity. You are not separate from the Creator and the All. With this remembrance, we can remember that we don't need to seek something outside of us. We don't need to seek abundance or even become. So, overactive heart chakra can look like being a caregiver or putting others first. Pretty common in this world. Having poor boundaries on where we place our love. The affirmation for the heart chakra that you may repeat out loud or inside your mind at your own free will. I am So yep, that was on our latest episode of Rising with Ra, which took place on Saturday, the heart chakra. And now we continue. We continue to climb the ladder of our octaves, of our centers and our chakras. As we continue to rise up the column, we make our way to our chakra of this Rising with Ra, which is going to be the throat chakra. And grand day to you. Welcome, Divine Words of Wisdom. Good to see you, sister. Along with our chakra of the day, we will also be going over our collective card reading of the day as well, which is going to be from the Light Language Oracle from Chloe Metcalf, who channels each of these guides and then channels the information and messages for us through these cards. Very beautiful deck. So we will be doing our collective card read, and then we will be doing our throat chakra education, and then we will be doing a throat chakra clearing reiki practice that I will step-by-step guide you through to show you how to do reiki on yourself, along with connecting with crystals for crystal healing. Now, along with this, I will also be connecting us with a spirit guide as well. So I will be connecting us with a spirit guide that directly correlates with the blue ray or the throat chakra. Last episode, for the heart chakra and the green ray, I connected us with Archangel Raphael, the archangel of medicine, healing, and regeneration. Alrighty. So, Light Language Oracle. It's going to be our Oracle deck for today on Rising with Ra. Let's see which guide would like to connect with us today. Okay. So we have Spirit Guide Pixie. So I'm not too familiar with this card. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the book for us. Okay. Ooh, okay. So number 45, for everybody out there that likes numbers. Pixie. Pixie represents unique lessons, warning, ungrounded. The Pixie is a trickster and has so many lessons attached. When this card comes to you, it is a warning to watch out. Lessons that are tricky or uniquely challenging are presenting themselves. This is also a message to get grounded, as you may find you are a little more clumsy than normal due to the energy, the Earth's energy. Let me read that sentence again. This is also a message to get grounded, as you may find you are a little more clumsy than normal due to the Earth's energy or the pixies running around your feet. Imagine roots growing down throughout your feet into the core of Earth. During this time, you need to look at life from a different perspective. Looking at it in your regular fashion will not help you out of your current mess. Another message from the Pixie is about play. You are in need of some fun. This still pipes up and reminds you that nothing good happens after midnight. It's all about work and play balance. You may find you are inspired or work your way out of a tricky situation if you break the cycle of working too hard and just take a little time to enjoy yourself. No, that's really timely, because right now on this planet, our planetary grid system is recalibrating. It's vibrationally shifting big time, and it's raising the frequency. and the collective. And with that, you can look at the Schumann resonance scale, and there's been a lot of whiteout energy going on the Schumann resonance. So what this means is that there's a high capacity of influx of higher dimensional light coming down into this dimension of the earth. And with that happening, that then starts to accelerate and ascend the vibration of this planet, of this realm, and of this collective of our humans and other beings. So while that's happening right now, and it has been happening, we have been experiencing what you can call ascension symptoms. And ascension symptoms are just simply the effects of the vibration of the planet as well as the collective in our individual self, because it's all connected. Where we feel that shift, we feel the vibration of ourself raising, and due to that vibration raising, it starts to extract and it starts to bring to the surface any densities or any energies that are not in alignment with that ascension. So then this is where our shadows start to come out. The shadows get pulled to the surface, and then these shadows get pulled to the surface for the opportunity to consciously integrate your shadows into your higher light. Now, along with this, we also have physical symptoms that take place due to this ascension process. If we have a lot of toxins, if we have a lot of blockages and density and other things that are going to keep us in a lower frequency within our body, then we may start purging that out. And that could seem like an illness. That could seem like an illness, or it can seem like we're sick at that moment. But what's actually happening is the things that have already been stored inside of us is just being pulled out to the surface, and it's being released and purged. And this also includes the mental and emotional level of ourself. So if there are stored emotions in our body, or we have stuck emotions that aren't flowing, then this ascension process gives us the opportunity to be able to acknowledge them at the surface and to be able to clear them and release them. Along with that, mentally, we may have memories come up from the past. We may have other attachments, other limited beliefs that have been continuing the cycle in our subconscious. And those would also be a part of our shadow. So then this gets brought up to the surface as well, along with all of this stuff. So when we're experiencing all of these things that I'm coining on right now, and we don't really know what's going on, or we feel like we're failing, or that we're not growing, just keep in mind all of what I just said. What's already stored inside of us, what's been buried, it has to come out to be witnessed. It has to come out for us to be able to acknowledge in some type of conscious fashion as the sovereign conscious being of ourselves. And then through that acknowledgement, through that awareness, we're able to make change. We're able to alchemize that energy that's been stored inside of us. So if you feel like you also may be feeling really jittery, really floaty, really detached and ungrounded from your physical human life, this is where grounding is a huge key. Activating your root chakra, making sure that's cleared properly, so then your energy cord can ground into the electromagnetic grid of the planetary system of Gaia. And you can also, consciously, continuously connect your bare feet to the earth. And you can even be sitting at home right now and just consciously acknowledge that your feet are connected to the earth. Like right now, my feet are connected to the earth. Yes, I may have a carpet below me. There may be some concrete below me, but it's still of the earth, and the earth is still underneath it. So therefore, energetically, my feet are still grounding and anchoring into the earth. But the more that you yourself consciously acknowledge this and tell yourself this, then the more you'll amplify and experience that happening for you. Sometimes we got to tell ourselves what we want to experience or what we're experiencing so we can make sure it's actually happening. And we also bring conscious amplification and awareness to it. So when we're grounded properly, and you guys can always check out my episode on Light Body Awareness 101 on the YouTube channel called Grounding. It's my latest episode where I go fully in depth about the mechanics of grounding and its importance in our human life. But when you are grounded properly, you're able to be more stable. You're able to be more at peace inside of yourself. You're able to have more of that inner security, as well as a natural state of not being swayed by the outside world. You're more in that tree energy because you're rooted and planted to the earth. Experiences, emotions, thoughts, projections, they all are observed. They all pass through and pass by more easily through your being and through your vessel, due to us having a grounded nature. Having that grounded nature, we don't feel a need to attach to it. We don't feel a need to be in fear or worry, but we feel planted and stable with being present. And knowing that through being present, we are exactly where we need to be. And another thing that's part of having a healthy root chakra is, taking the right actions in your life that put you in a position to be safe, to be in a place of peace, and to be able to know that you're doing the things in order for you to experience your abundance. So if you're feeling fear, you're feeling worry, you're feeling a lot of stress, anxiety, depression, feel very scattered, feel like you're being thrown around by the waves of life right now, I would just highly recommend taking some time to clear out your root chakra so you may ground yourself and be able to have that continuous releasing of energy out through the root and into the earth. Grande Sarah, welcome in. I love that, Sarah. She said, my dad always told me, be like a tree. A willow flows with the wind, an oak stands firm. He told me to know what type of tree I needed to be. I love that. So yeah, to close out this collective reading with Spirit Guide Pixie of the Light Language Oracle, she also mentioned having fun. So finding ways to balance discipline with fun. Your discipline is your masculine energy, which creates your container for the feminine to be able to flow and express itself organically. So the more that you intact and utilize self-discipline and structure, then the more you will have containers and spaces built and opened up for your feminine energy, Jesus, your feminine energy or your creative energy to be able to be expressed and to be able to flow. Is key to have that healthy masculine container to allow that feminine energy to be able to express and flow through itself. All right, that does it for our collective card reading today. We have Pixie from the Light Language Oracle. All right. Jeez. Hydration check, everybody. All right. We are now going to slide on over into our chakra education of today in this episode of Rising Raw. And our chakra of the day is going to be the throat chakra. So the throat chakra. The throat chakra is located at the throat. And the mantra for this chakra is Ham, H-A-M. So just to give you an example of how you would utilize that, you take a deep breath in, then you vocalize Ham out of your mouth. So deep breath in, Ha. Just like that. So that mantra resonates at a specific octave or frequency. So then that tone attunes and readjusts that chakra. And it's the same for each of the 7 when it comes to their mantra. So now moving over into traits. This energy center vibrates naturally at the frequency of 741 hertz. And it is also correlated to the color blue. Physical parts of the body that the throat chakra governs. This is going to be your thyroid, your mouth, your jaw, your shoulders, and your neck. Now moving into manifestation characteristics that this chakra brings. It is our ability to express emotions or voicing our inner truth. It is where we put forth our creative energy into masculine energy. This is our discernment system. So this is the center where we discern energy and information. So what is discernment? I know we hear that word a lot, but we don't get real in-depth meaning behind what it is. And discernment, in its originality, just means the ability to process, the ability to filter, energy and information that is coming into your space. And then through that filtering and processing, we're able to feel what information or energy resonates for us and what does not resonate for us to be released. That is our discernment. The ability to filter and process information and energy, and to be able to tell if it resonates for us or if it doesn't resonate, to be released. That is discernment. So along with that, this energy center is our main center for integrity, knowing when to voice, knowing when not to, and knowing when to put forward and when to step back. Now, integrity can also be related to the solar plexus as well, as the solar plexus is our action center. So this is more like integrity of your voice. Last trait is, it is how we translate our dreams into form. So we get our downloads from the crown chakra down to the causal. And then the third eye chakra is where we start to have a perception of it. And we also start to be able to envision, as well as mentally tap into the consciousness of the time and space of that dream or that dimension of energy that we are wanting to manifest into material form. And then through the third eye, that makes its way down to the throat chakra, where we're able to express and put forward the dream into a material form. All right, so moving into overactivations and blockages in the chakra. Overactivations can be speaking over others, spilling out unmindfully. So this can be when you or others around you are just going on and on, talking about their problems, talking about other people, and just really being unmindful about it. You know, say you meet up with someone or they see you, they don't even say hello, how are you, anything like that. First thing they do is just start spilling and dumping on you. That would be an overactive throat chakra. Or for example, if you're in a professional setting or somewhere where there's a lot of traumatized people and you're not mindful of the way you're speaking, and you speak on things that are absolutely triggering and traumatizing for people. So next, being overactive in the throat can look like having no care to listen, and then dominating others' beliefs. Prime example is, you look at figures throughout time that became dictators. I mean, that's a prime example of overusing your throat chakra. Blockages, hard time retaining or receiving information, cutting short receiving validation of one's own abilities. So that's when you deny your gifts, you deny your abilities, you don't allow others to give you validation for, how much of a blessing your gifts are and how much beauty you've shined by helping others. And you just continuously reject that and you won't allow yourself to receive that. That causes blockages in the throat chakra, as our throat chakra wants to be able to know that it is worthy of expressing and that it is of value and it's bringing gifts to people by being utilized. So when we reject that, we start to shrink down our throat chakra because we don't believe that we should fully be embracing the beauty of what it does. Next, we have fear of expressing truth or experience. So if you have fear about expressing yourself or sharing what you're feeling to your partner, to your parents, to your kids, your teacher, whatever it may be, that can start blocking up your throat chakra. And then lastly, thyroid, mouth, sinus, and ear issues can begin to manifest due to having blockages in the throat chakra. All right, so now we'll move over into foods and herbs. Foods and herbs for the throat chakra. We have grapes, berries, eggplant, kale, plums. Then you have slippery elm, chamomile, eucalyptus, peppermint, clary sage, and rosemary. All right, now we'll go ahead and move over into crystals that we can use for the throat chakra. These crystals resonate directly for the throat chakra, and of course there are more out there as well. But we have sodalite, lapis lazuli, chrysocolla, turquoise, labradorite, blue kyanite, angelite, and blue apatite. And then also, pretty much any blue stone is going to be at the same octave as the throat chakra due to its universal scale and correlation. So if you have any of these crystals or any other throat chakra crystals, feel free to grab them. And if you want to, you can utilize one or multiple when we move into our throat chakra energy clearing practice here in a moment. All right. So that's our chakra of the day, the throat chakra. If you're ever curious about any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or reach out. And if you're someone that wants to do one-on-one personal sessions of diving into the layers of your chakras, and you would like to receive guidance as well as the knowledge and tools on how you can balance and clear them, reach out to me, as I do offer one-on-one chakra empowerment spaces where you get to choose the chakra. Then we do education, journaling, identify our own blocks and overactivations currently, and then a guided meditation to help clear that chakra. You guys can schedule that anytime with me. You can either do it directly at sacredlight33.as.me, or you can reach out to me directly. And I'll actually go ahead and show you guys what my scheduling page looks like, just so you can have an idea of how to navigate it. So this is sacredlight33.as.me. This is where you can find all my services I have available. I have one-on-one, one-day retreats at home. I have couple one-day retreats. I have oracle card readings, custom guided meditation audios. I can do live guided meditations with you. Chakra healing lessons, or crystal healing lessons. Sorry about that. I am crystal healing certified. And then chakra empowerment, which is the one I just talked about with you guys. Then you have Reiki, light language activations, inner child healing, soul origin, Akashic record meditations, and then weekly life guidance where I do shadow work integration, help you develop boundaries, build new patterns and habits, and also I create a custom meditation audio for you for that week. Then you also get to access one of these 3 workshops, either a chakra empowerment, crystal healing, or inner child healing. And that's all within 1 week. And then there's also 2 weeks available, and then 1 and 3 months. So if you're looking for something that's going to really give you an overall life shift, a life change, and you're going to go into all the layers of your life, then the weekly life guidance is something for you. The rest is more of like, a one-time session, intentionally focusing on something that you want to, either heal, manifest, or whatever else. Where the weekly life guidance is, you really get to be on a journey with me, and I help you really develop a complete new lifestyle change. And I can also help with diet. Part of my one-on-one spaces, the 2-hour one-on-one space, is actually helping you go over conscious consumption when it comes to diet and drinks as well. So yeah, that's my schedule page, sacredlight33.as.me. Feel free to check it out anytime. Reach out if you have questions, and you can book directly through there. Alrighty guys, so go ahead and get yourself comfortable. Feel free to take a break for just a couple of minutes as we'll transition over into our throat chakra energy clearing. Feel free to grab some more water, use the restroom, maybe even burn some sage, grab crystals, get yourself nice and cozy, set up your Zen space at home, and get ready to receive and be a part of an energy healing practice. I'll be right back. Yeah, I just want to let you guys know something that I started doing traditionally in these Rising with Raws last season is I will create what you call the Rising with Raw Zen space. So if you're somebody at home that creates a sanctuary, that creates a Zen space for you during these practices that I hold in the episode, feel free, if you want to either take videos or take pictures of the crystals that you use, the setup that you create for the practice during this episode, and then send them directly to me. And then I will add them in and create what I call the Rising with Raw Zen space, where I get to add your pictures, add your videos, give you a shout out for being a part of the space and sharing your vibe and your energy with the collective, and just allow you to be able to broadcast and share a little bit of your light and a little bit of your heart to the collective. Something pretty cool and just something really connective that I like to do. So if you are interested in that, feel free to do that. You can send me pictures or videos of the crystals or the setup that you create for the practice, and then I will gladly put that together and broadcast that for the collective to see. And I'll play that at the beginning of the next episode, which will be coming up on Friday. And of course, if you didn't fully understand that, but you want to do that, just ask me questions. Alrighty. We are now going to move into our throat chakra clearing. Do 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 do. Any throat chakra crystal that you would like. If you guys could, just let me know in the comments how the audio. Today I have a new onyx, my throat chakra, and for everybody out there, new onyx is a transmuting energy. That transmutes energy. It also has a protective energy. It is able to give you a boost mentally. It helps you overcome challenges and addiction. It is good for controlling negative thoughts, encourages self-awareness, to be able to straighten, focus, and ground. It is believed to absorb negative energy, provide emotional stability. It's also referred to as the sobriety stone. So that is what true honesty and what true honest does. So as you get comfortable, posture, if you're sitting, having your back straight. If you're laying down, having your legs walking the flow of energy. Relaxing our fingers, toes, make sure they're flat. And then relaxing your jaw, making sure we're not clenching our teeth. Now bringing focus to bringing our crystal in our left hand to our throat, and then lightly opening up the throat. Then taking our right hand and placing it over the left and over the crystal, over the throat chakra, on the crystal, and on the throat. And just allow yourself to start to focus inward, beginning to sense and feel the energy flowing through the palms of your hands, which are Reiki hands. We all have natural universal life force called Reiki that flows through our being. And the more you intentionally connect with it, the more you bring awareness to it. So allow yourself to feel the sense right now, the Reiki energy flowing through our palms. And then consciously acknowledging it's amplifying the crystal's energy, which is then amplifying the throat chakra. So with this knowing, again, our shoulders relax, so we're not holding tension in our body. Now bringing focus to the breath, breathing in through the nose, drawing it through the throat, and exhaling out of the mouth. In through the nose, through the throat, exhaling out of the mouth. The nose, the throat, exhaling out of the mouth. Continue to stay with this breath and repeat this pattern. The affirmation. When I am vulnerable, I give I give blessings and value. I stay with the breath, continuing to breathe, with through, lightning, maybe thyroid, other things as well in that area, and open, releasing away anything that we are holding on to, dealing with suppression, rejection, self, massaging, and now we call in and embrace our spirit guide today for the Blue Growth Center. We are met with Archangel Michael now begins with his blue sword of justice. Feeling this blue flame begin to purify and wash the throat chakra, staying with the breath, restoring balance, clarity, and truth, discerning any information that still needs to be processed or being, beginning integration of the information, plus releasing, discarding of the thoughts, spirit. Now you may the throat chakra relax. Archangel Mike. You know, make your way through your physical body, your eyes, your heart, your face, Ooh-wee. How are we all feeling? Feel free to share how your experience was. If there's anything that stood out to you, feel free to put in the comments or reach out. So I'm just going to give you guys a moment to kind of come back to your physical body, come back to your senses, and make your way into this space again. Thank you guys all for being part of that and receiving the magic. So to end this live today, this Rising with Raw episode, I actually just wanted to kind of kick back a little bit and give us a little treat and a podcast that I'd listened to recently. And I very much enjoy these two brothers, whether it's together or in their own individual spaces or on other people's platforms. And it's 19 Keys and Billy Carson. And they sat together in the last week and they had a podcast together. And they talked about various, very deep, multidimensional, conscious conversations. So I'm going to let you guys watch a little bit of that with me and let you guys enjoy some of the conversation and see what type of downloads and reflection comes through for you through their podcast.
YouTube video and watching the javelin being thrown is really, I think we really not appreciating what that is for real.
Oh man.
Because it'll be easy to understand if I told you a story in ancient times where this kid had this, and nobody would train him for anything. He couldn't afford the training whatsoever. It was only for the wealthy elite's children. And then one day, this unassuming traveler came in town, and he heard the child talking about how he wished he could play in his games, but he's poor and he can get nobody to teach him. And the traveler goes in and he hands him over this tablet. And he said, on here, you can watch, you can observe, and you can study everything that they have to tell you. He went by himself and he watched it every single day. And he studied it every single day. He learned the techniques. He got better every single day. And then one day he was able to go amongst the top in the world and even compete and even beat them. Now, we would understand that like, man, that's magical. You feel me? But we have that same ability, but we lack focus.
Right.
We lack, okay, what do I want to do with all of this? It's a million things to do. All you need is one.
Yeah.
Right? There's literally, everybody started talking about this aura points that the little shooters was getting and stuff. Which is funny because it was this meme where they showed the one kid who was standing like this. Then it was like, this the Gen Z versus the millennial. Where the other dude, the Gen X, he just like this, like a shooter. You feel me? But they was talking about, and I was thinking, I'm like, man, how we got a shooter competition? There ain't no black people in it.
Right.
We gonna make it look cool for real. Y'all think this cool? Wait till we learn that we can shoot and get to the Olympics. Y'all done messed up. These little phones, man, showing us some stuff about the world.
Everything.
And that's why this younger generation, they're seeded with so much knowledge and power because they have the processing of their minds is different, right? You would think it's wisdom, but what it is they have so much, and this what you can understand. Like if you are a parent that's a millennial, imagine all the information that you've downloaded throughout time, and then you pass that down to a child. It wasn't always like that.
Right.
Most people were simple. Not even if you understand it, it's in you. They have a foundation.
Yeah.
There you go back to the 30s. The simple man working at a mechanic shop or a factory didn't have knowledge of spirituality and consciousness and cosmism and Anunnakis and politics. They didn't know all of this. Barely literate. So what they were passing down was probably the merit of their character. You know what I mean? The virtues of their soul, their work ethic, habit, some of their traumas and things of that nature. But not this vast library of data and information and exposure to things that they've seen. So we're condensed packages of data, right? Being passed down from just your mom and dad. Not we going all the way back to what ancient thought knew.
Right.
We saying that your son say, man, my dad was Billy Carson.
Right.
Generation has so much already in them. They're the most condensed generation on the planet Earth. And as we keep going, it gets even more condensed through every generation. Like all of our experiences, right, that we pass down to the next generation, we're currently going through a so-called world recession. We done went through pandemics. We going through the craziest political time ever to live in. We're going to experience all of the things that we've heard about in books. We actually get to see and experience now. You know what I mean? You get to see Rome fall. You get to see technology being invented and manifested, and new industries disappear and come back, and new ways of money systems, new languages, everything you can think of. You got to do is look around and observe. The universe is flooded with things. So now you have to stop and you have to make a choice. What do I want to do with my time here? And it's going to be so many different things. You know, they're telling you should focus on being a general master of things, because general mastery is more required during the time that we're living in, right? But you do have to have a focus. And if you can't start with a focus, your eyes are trying to look at everything at once, but we're not wired for that, right? Our eyes are wired to focus. And while I'm looking at you, I have peripheral vision, that's fine. But my eyes is focused on you. I see you. Now, what is that thing that you're focused on? He decided that all the things in the world that this is on this tablet, I want to look at joblets,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna just study that, and I'm going to become that. And then he projected that. As you looking and you're listening, what are you grabbing to where it's adding on to what you're doing and what you're becoming? Because society has to go away from the ambitions of our external projections of what we want and how we use that to showcase who we are, to aspirational ambitions on what we want to become and how we want to be remembered.
Yeah. And I think what you're talking about is people, these younger generations, they have to learn how to find their passion.
Mm-hmm.
They have access to so much, it's information overload.
Right.
And they're good at, they're kind of good at so many things, but not great at one thing.
Right.
And so the money and all of that, that's not where it's at. It's all about finding your passion. Because when you find your passion and you then develop that passion and become great at that passion, and then you find a need for what you're passionate about in the world,
Mm-hmm.
you find people that need what you're passionate and you energy with them. And when you exchange your energy with that company or that customer, money is just a sign. So you don't worry. I never worry. I ask my passion, I follow my passion. Side effect, as it should, because
Mm-hmm.
we're living in a financial matrix that,
Right.
that requires that monetization. And so if they can understand that the most important thing for them to do is stop being so they really want. And how you can do that is simple. Open up their tablet and start taking on that the things they like, the things to do. You get that random list, then sort it and put it in order as number 1 through how many ever. And what's the top one? What's the next level of being able to do this one thing now, that thing now, or this talent or skill set now? And if you're really passionate about something that you have on the list that you're not good at yet, what will it take for me to develop to become great at that thing? And once they start hyper-focusing in that way, they develop that passion, it grows, and now the next key is that gift with someone else, and that generates revenue and income for them. And they'll never feel like they're working a day in their life because they're living in their passion.
Mm. So how does I know this generation that they go heed the advice, but they want the spicy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want to know how to unlock the kundalini. They want to know how you tap into the light consciousness. They want to know how to, they want that. So and like here you practice in third week. So how as it for the younger generation, where's the starting place for these young rebellious spirits that want to ascend this ladder?
Yeah.
So let's take them through our you conscious, take them through you apply the dangerous time of your mind having access to that amount of energy, right? It can split this where you have a bypass effect almost a little bit. People in the matrix, out of the matrix, like why instant gratification is not good as to be a process, because you have to understand what's going on. You can break a person's mind as they try to break out the matrix. You can tell a person too much, too quick, and they can explode some neurons the same way anymore.
That's right.
So that's why it is to just get a child on stimulation, receiving info, actually having the mind to process the psychological wholeness.
Yeah.
So let's go into the psychic wholeness. Let's talk about cracking that third eye, and then let's talk about the psychology of how to maturely develop it, right? So that it can be pointed as a laser.
Yeah. Well, the first thing these children have to do, or I don't call them children, but these young adults have to do, they have to learn how to meditate and sit with themselves. Right now, everything is moving so fast. A lot of them can't sit with themselves for 5 minutes without fidgeting, getting a screen, looking for something. So they have to learn how to sit with themselves and be quiet and silent and sit with themselves and get comfortable sitting with themselves.
Yeah.
They have to learn how to love themselves. A lot of these people, they don't realize they truly don't have any self-love yet. They don't really even know what that means. And how they're going to get that? By tapping into meditation, by doing breath work. Breath work meditations on forbidden knowledge that some are 4 hours long. You can get them on YouTube, free, whatever. But getting into the breath, because like you said earlier, breath is life. It's your direct connection.
Breath is key.
That's it. Breath is key. And so they got to get into the breath work meditation, getting into that, sitting with themselves, being and understanding the patience and the time that it takes, that ability to sit with themselves for extended periods of time and tap into that meditation. A lot of the times, just that alone will wake up the third eye. Just that alone. Now, of course, drinking toxic, energy drinks and eating a lot of candy and snacks and all of that, that's only going to be detrimental to you really having any true long-term effect. You got to kind of almost change your diet to a more healthy diet. You got to imagine, what were the ancients doing when they were tapping into these higher levels of consciousness? Did they have Doritos and Coca-Cola?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they had that.
No, they had no damn Doritos.
That's right. So you have to mimic success. And so when you say mimic success, well, what were they eating at that time period? All organic? Okay, well, damn, I got to go all organic.
I got to try on that gold.
Yeah, monoatomic gold water, right? Getting that into the system. Neurons, processes in the brain, understanding how that, and so they have to say to yourself, what am I doing wrong right now that I can't get into that level that they were getting into back then? I'm not copying everything they did back then. What they did then worked, so don't reinvent the wheel. So I need to copy the diet. I need to copy the mindset, action. It's like, as you say, all sped up, wanting instantaneous gratification. There's a process to the ascendance, to becoming an ascended master or an adept initiate, and getting the knowledge. And like you and I do, Keys, we sit back and we might meditate on it for a couple of days, a week, maybe even before we burst in it, like I think, or I have, like you say, different opposing opinions, or let me check into it deeper to see how real or not real this is. I want to meditate on this. If I grab some serious scientific knowledge and it's really like earth-shattering, I might dig into that connected to, before I tap into it and speak on it. So they have to understand that there's this process of integration that needs to take place. It can't be just, I meditated for 1 hour, I'm ready now. My pineal, it ain't that simple. Patience is key.
Well, they addicted to it.
Yeah.
You told me that you ain't never smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, never did no psychedelics.
No.
No ayahuasca, no changa, no iboga root.
No.
You know what I mean? No toad.
So yeah, that is the podcast between Billy Carson and 19 Keys, and that is on the Earn Your Leisure YouTube channel. And I'll be sure to drop that linked in down below in the description for you guys, so you guys can watch that whole thing if you want to. Very good stuff to really just critically think and just get creative and contemplate about, your path, your life, who you are as a multidimensional being, and your relationship to the universe. Really, really great conversations, similar to the stuff we talk about. But thank you guys for joining me, as this does it for this episode of Rising with Ra, as we went through the throat chakra, and we also went over our collective card today, talking about grounding as well as finding ways to be able to integrate a healthy throat chakra into our daily life. If you guys have any comments or anything else you would like to be a guest on future episodes, reach out and let me know, and we'll gladly sit together and go through the motions. Thank you guys, and I will be back live on Wednesday for Ascending Beyond Limitations, the Law of One, as that will be at 1 p.m. Eastern, live on all platforms. And then I'll be back on Friday for the next Rising with Ra, as we will be doing the third eye chakra. I will see you guys then. Wholeness and balanced love.